Welcome to Dunks for Humanity for the Wins NBA Game Show, where today I'm the host after winning last week. Shout out to Brian for giving me my first dub. But we're going to get right into today's question, which is the person to blame for the Lakers being bad is blank. Now, hopefully this is the last Lakers topic we have up until the end of the playoffs. But I'm going to go with Sykes, who just recently wrote about this and kind of triggered us to talk about this on today's show. So, Sykes, tell me your answer.
All right, so look. Y'all gonna tell me I'm tripping, and that's okay. I'm used to that. I'm used to y'all telling me I'm tripping, but it's LeBron James, man.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
It's LeBron James, and I know Bron has been great. He's been an all-star, Hall of Famer. He's about to break Kareem's record. I mean, he's averaging 30 right now. He looks great, on great efficiency. But look, man, at the end of the day, LeBron James wanted Russell Westbrook on this team. This is a player that he was looking forward to the Lakers trading for. Him and Anthony Davis sat up in their war room, discussed their options, and Russell Westbrook was the best guy that they could come up with. And look, Russ is a solid player. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best point guards of all time. But at the end of the day, when they traded for him, they expected him to change his game. And that's just not who he's going to be in year 13. You can't expect him to be a cutter off the ball or a great shooter now just because he's playing with Bron. Like, it just don't really work that way. And so I think when they decided that Russell Westbrook was going to be their guy, when LeBron James was like, yeah, we can get Russ and I can make this work, that's when the Lakers season went in the tank. And I told y'all this was going to happen. I told y'all it was going to happen. I was right. It's Bron's fault.
Wow. This man is attacking a colleague of his, his teammate, and not necessarily somebody else in the Lakers organization. I'm going to go with the guy who just traded in all his LA gear because he said, I'm sick and tired of it. Brian, who is to blame for the Lakers season?
Yeah, listen, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. If there's one thing that I've come to understand about this franchise during my time on this planet, it's the term Lakers exceptionalism.
What the hell did you just say?
And basically what that means is that the Lakers feel that they are the exception to every rule. And that comes, unfortunately, from the top. And that means Jeannie Buss is to blame for this issue. I love Jeannie Buss. I think that her and her family have done wonderful things for the Lakers organization for decades now. That being said, the idea that the Lakers can just do something like this and get away with it, because it's like, oh, it's just a star, it'll work, comes down to ownership. And that's the group that hires Rob Pelinka. That's the group that allows LeBron to do this because he's a star. And that's the group that continues to ask for help from the likes of not only Kurt and Linda Rambis, but also Phil Jackson and people that don't have any sort of connection to this organization. And it continues to be an actual problem because it's a decades-old way of thinking, and it's become truly toxic to the way the organization is run.
Man, he said, I'm not going after a player or coach. I'm going at the top. I'm going after the buses. Woo! That was a big, bold move on you, Brian. Charles, you're in New York. You don't really care about the Lakers. I mean, you got your own problem with the Knicks. But who do you think is the cause for the bad seasons the Lakers just had?
Well, look, you could blame ownership. I get that. You could blame LeBron James. But at the end of the day, there's one guy who pulls the trigger on this move, and his name is Rob Pelinka. And so the reason that the Lakers are bad this year is Rob Pelinka. He's the one who said, all right, I'll make the move, right? You want to make LeBron happy. Yeah, you want to make ownership happy. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to own this. And that's the thing. Like, the funny thing to me is, like, we all, and by we all, I mean every single NBA fan on Twitter, on the planet, when this move was made, it was like, why is a team like the Lakers, who need more shooting around LeBron and the brow, why are we trading for a guy who can't shoot, who plays a game that will clog up the lane? Everybody said it, except for Rob Pelinka. And yeah, maybe making LeBron happy is a thing that you need to do, and I understand that. He is LeBron James. But at the end of the day, like, you could say no. You could say, actually, this probably isn't a good idea, and say, well, no, this is actually not going to work X's and O's wise, So I'm putting the blame on him. Not a good move at all.
Wow, so we have like 3-tier of blaming ship. We have player, we have GM, we have owner. Normally we go to somebody to give us help with this, but I think I'm going to go with my gut. And I got to give it to Brian because, like he said, you have to aim for the top. LeBron, as much as he's the GM and the players coach, he's not the owner. And as much as he said, you know, it's not to be harsh on Jeannie Buss, but I gotta stick with him, man. He picked the biggest person of the three to go after, and he did it. So, Brian, you are this week's winner. And let me say, this has nothing to do with him picking me last week. Sykes, I love the conviction you had in your argument. And Charles, you came in second in my eyes because, you know, the man who makes the trades is him. But you got to go at the head of the table. So, Brian, congratulations on your win this week.
Yo, how much you pay that man, Brian?
It's getting cheaper and cheaper, man. You know, for me, the Lakers are a team that's become feast and famine, and you know, I think that's excellent when there are parades, but when the sort of stuff happens, it's the same line of thinking that got them there. So I understand why Genie's allowed these things to happen, but it certainly is frustrating to watch as a fan.
You know, it's hilarious. None of us said Russell Westbrook. Like, how much of this is Russell Westbrook's fault? He just doesn't fit, and he's not changing his game. I don't think he can.
According to my calculations, it's 10%.